Hi guys, it's Terry for another Kids Corner. This week we're on kind of an adventure. We've been talking about Joseph and how he lived in the desert. And so John and I came out to the desert this weekend. So today's adventure, I thought we would take a tour from above. Check out the ground below and learn a little bit about aviation while we're also studying about Joseph. This is Jesse, he's my co-pilot, and he's along for the ride and to make sure that we stay safe while we're in the air. So one of the most important things about flying an airplane is talking to your pilot or co-pilot, and also talking to the tower and talking to ground control and talking to other airplanes in the air. So you'll see a lot of that today. I have to get permission to do what we're going to do, make sure that other planes know we're in the air. So just keep an eye out for that radio work. Thermal control, Cessna 1709, rolling on the active, request straight out departure eastbound. Roger, 1709. Cessna 1709, climbing at 500 feet per minute, planned level off at 2,500 feet eastbound, heading toward Palm Springs Airport. Yes, sir, Palm Springs Airport. We'll contact on approach. Cessna 1709, roger. Palm Springs Tower, Cessna 1709, 2,500 feet passing over Coachella. Request permission to pass through your airspace at south end runway 69. Roger that. Thank you, sir. Cessna 1709 out. Request return to airport. Will enter pattern at 800 feet. 1709, roger. Palm Springs traffic, Cessna 1709, passing over Coachella Ridge, 2,500 feet eastbound, be advised. Cessna 1709, landed runway 35, request taxi to hangar. 1709, roger. Good day, sir. Okay, we're back from our adventure. We had a fun time flying over the desert, and now we're home. But I wanted you to think about that one thing that I mentioned early on, and that's the headset. You know, the headset is where I was talking to the tower and to ground control and to other pilots. You could hear me talking probably, but you couldn't hear them talking to me because they were sort of speaking in my ear. You know, I had that headset on. And sometimes hearing from God is the same way. We talk to him with our prayers, but sometimes we hear him and nobody else does. That's kind of interesting, isn't it? Joseph heard God through dreams. Some people might hear God's voice through something they read in the Bible, or you might hear God's voice because of something that your parents say or your Sabbath school teacher says. But you have to learn to understand when God is saying something. For example, let's say you have a brother or a sister, and one day you're just thinking about God and thinking about church, and all of a sudden you start hearing the words, be nice, be nice. And you don't know where that came from. It's like a little something whispered in your ear, be nice. Nobody else could hear it, you could hear it, and all of a sudden you start thinking, maybe I'm supposed to be nicer to my brother or to my sister. That's when we know that God is kind of speaking to us. It doesn't happen every day that way, but when it does, you want to be able to listen and hear God's voice if he tells you things like, be nice, or go to church, or do your homework. You know, when God says something specifically to you and nobody else can hear it, you want to be sure you recognize it. We'll talk more about that in the future, but Joseph knew through his dreams that God was speaking to him. So you listen and find out what God might be saying to you. See you later.